What is up, Future Millionaires? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another clip from our live talk show, Ask Ellie. And the questions that came up in this show were about how do I research my clients' pain points? And this is so important because you all know I'm always educating you on the fact that when you're building a brand, when you're building a business, it is so important for you to know, what do your clients need? What does your potential customer need? Where are they struggling? What are their pain points? And your job as a business owner is to create a solution, to create content, and to really show that customer how you are the best choice to solve or reduce those pain points. So I love the fact that this question came up during our live recording of Ask Ellie. And because I wanted to make sure that this content doesn't just, disappear somewhere, I said, let's go ahead and post this because this is really valuable and I know you guys will gain from it. So as always, grab your notebook, grab a pen, let's get into these gems. And what I want you guys to do as well is comment down below any additional questions you have about business, your business, what you need, where you'd like to go, any struggles you have, because when we start recording Ask Ellie again, I want to make sure I've already got some questions as a head start. All right, let's get into the video.
Ellie talks money to create the better days, business, money, life, the Ellie way.
My name's Cornelia.
Cornelia, and where are you from? What's your business?
I live here in Houston, and I own a bookkeeping and accounting service. And I offer bookkeeping and accounting services to small businesses, but specifically plumbers.
Plumbers, okay. So, right, what made you choose plumbers specifically?
So, like yourself, I started my entrepreneurship journey in 2020. I was doing some research as to what businesses struggle with bookkeeping. And that was one of the companies, that was the type of entities that came up as.
That's actually so smart. That's a really good idea.
Because they don't have the time.
What's your question?
So, I developed my avatar, my ideal client, which is the plumbers.
Yes.
But I kind of struggle with what is their problem? What is their pain points? I know that they don't have the time to do their accounting because they spend a lot of time in the field and whatnot, but I still struggle with what exactly it is that their pain point is. So how do I research what exactly are their pain points?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I mean, I love the fact that you have a really specific niche. I think that as far as doing research, well, there's so many ways we could do it online. So one website I would recommend is called answerthepublic.com. Now, you can literally go to Answer the Public and ask it questions like, plumbers, or what problems do plumbers have with their business, and it's going to generate the different things that have been Googled about that subject. So that'll give you some insight into maybe what questions plumbers do have. I would also do some social media research on TikTok, or Instagram, typing in keywords like day in the life of a plumber. I don't know if this exists, but it might, plumber life. And you'll find a lot of the questions that they may be having, or in the comment section, what's there. What do you guys think?
I was going to suggest Reddit. Reddit is Twitter times 100. So
yeah, they be going off.
You'll find probably more than what you're looking for, but it's probably a good place for you to start, just to get all the feelings.
Yeah.
I love that. One thing that I did earlier in my career is I realized that people, when you approach them for a service, sometimes their defenses are up because they think you want money from them or something, right? So what I did was I would reach out to what I perceived to be my ideal client, and I would say something like, hey, I am looking to serve people in your industry, and I'm looking for people who probably already have it figured out, who I can just ask some questions about what it would look like to serve you at the highest level, right? Because now the defenses are down, because now you're kind of giving them a pseudo compliment. They're like, oh, well, she perceives me doing it at the highest level. Now I'm open to hearing what she has to say and giving feedback, right? All the while, they probably have some things that they need help with. And so you're able to gather data in real time, because now you're asking them questions around things that can be a resource to them, and the light bulb's gonna go off for them. Well, I actually need that service. But instead of you just reaching out to them directly and saying, hey, I work with plumbers, do you wanna work with me? You've kind of given them a compliment and edified them, and kind of got in there from a backdoor perspective to be able to showcase the value that you provide, and then they're gonna be more willing to work with you. So that was something that was really helpful for me, is just approaching them as if they already have have it all figured out, knowing that you know they don't. And then when you start to say the things like, hey, well, with being able to have ultimate clarity on your finances to give you insight on how to grow and scale your business, would that be of value to people in your industry? In their mind, they're like, absolutely, I need to do that right now, right? And so now you're going to be able to build that rapport, build that relationship, and you'll find clients that way as well.
I think it's good.
Wow, I
I
love
like
that.
that.
Thank you,
It's
guys.
almost like reverse psychology. And one other thing I would say is Facebook groups, which just came to my mind. Like there's Facebook groups for everything, but I think if you go on Facebook and search, maybe plumbers in a certain city, then you'll find groups where they come together and they are asking each other questions. There might be just different, events or conferences, and you can usually request access to those groups and then ask a question. Or read their comments and start DMing people, just stuff out there.
I love that. Thank you guys.
You're
so much.
welcome.
I appreciate
That's a
that.
great question. Yes.
Let me just take a moment right now to talk to you about something really, really important. Within our communities, specifically the Black community, there is a shortage of life insurance. There is a shortage of people who have protected themselves and protected their families. In fact, less than 30% of Black families have any sort of life insurance. And we have to talk about this. We have to stop this. We have to make sure that we are normalizing life insurance the same way we normalize all the other things that we love in our culture and in our community. It really is so important, right? Think about it. 30% or less are covered. That means that so many individuals without the proper protection who, if something were to happen, wouldn't have what they need to make sure that their families are covered or any final expenses are covered. So I want to just take a moment to show you how easy it is to actually get the coverage that you need with Ethos. Let me show you just how easy it is to get a quote with Ethos, all right? You're gonna put in your information, a few simple questions. And here's the thing, with no medical exams, you can get policies up to $2 million in coverage. And what I love here is that you can customize this to your budget so that you're paying exactly what you can pay. And that's important, right? We wanna make sure this fits within our lifestyle. You're answering a few simple health questions. You can do all this in a few minutes and get coverage the same day, right from your phone or right from your computer. This means more time for what's important to you, your kids, your business, your family. That's what counts. Do you see how easy that is? So if you have been following me or watching my videos, then I'm sure building wealth is important to you, creating a business is important to you, and leaving a legacy is important to you, where we can be protected for whatever may happen to us or anyone that we love in our family. That's why I love Ethos. That's what it's all about, right? Is making sure that you are protecting your family and ensuring a solid foundation. We can absolutely change the narrative together. We can increase the number of families in our communities that have insurance by getting started right now. So I want you to head to the link in my description, head to Ethos on your phone or on your computer, get a quote, and get yourself covered.
I think that's great, knowing your target audience and kind of diving in that way,
I use the tagline, we help plumbers get, unclog their financial situation.
Oh my God, that is good. This guy always has a tagline. You need to write that down or trademark it. We help plumbers unclog
So the house, you can have,
their finances. Well, we would love to get another question. Who else in the audience has a question about their business or their life today? Now don't be shy and do that. Okay, come on up, Queen. Let's give her a round of applause.
I'm short. Sorry. Well, so my question is, so I'm Kashani from LA, and my business is breastfeeding. So I teach other moms on the benefits and the specifics on breastfeeding. And so what I feel like I've been kind of running into a problem with is trying to figure out like the name of my brand. Eventually, I do want to get to the point where I'm creating my own like breast milk treats. And so I want to create like an entire brand around that, but I haven't been able to kind of like figure out how to go about creating the brand name.
Yeah. There's that, you guys know what website I'm talking about. And there's one called Jasper. Okay. So AI is taking over the world.
Yes,
if y'all haven't
I'm
figured
here
this
for
out
it.
already, right? So you can basically go on an AI thing and generate anything, but Jasper.ai, you can go and put in different keywords. So, breastfeeding would be one of yours. Maybe if you're focusing on women of color, it might be another. And then it'll basically kind of compile a list of names based on your interests and help you go from there. What do you guys think? You're the name king, so give her something.
What I would do is I would start, you probably have done an exercise similar to this before, but I would start to think about what inspired you to create the business in the first place and just jot down keywords like she said. And then I think that'll start to connect some dots for you. I would think about what do you want mothers to feel, right, when they think about your brand. I think that's something that would be helpful and inspiring a potential idea. And then what is the overall story that led you to creating this business, right? Okay. So, for example, you think about a brand like Carol's Daughter, right? Like people see that name and it's like, oh, what's the story behind that, right? So think about like what is the story that led you to creating that? I think that might help derive some ideas as well.
Okay, thank you.
The last thing I was going to say is try not to overthink it. You probably have had several things come to mind and you probably are thinking it's not good enough, it doesn't hit the same, and you probably have your thing in that list. So you can always change your mind if it doesn't work. People rebrand all the time. Just don't overthink it. That's another suggestion.
Yeah.
That's probably the
Go with whatever it is, put it out there, and then once you put it out there, people will tell you, or you'll feel how it feels, right? And as you start attracting new customers, new clients, you might have a conversation with someone, and then boom, the actual name comes to mind based on what they say. But I would just say jump out there.
To confirm what she said, my very, very first podcast was named The Legacy and Lifestyle Show, and that was in 2017, I want to say.
Oh, wow.
Right? Then I rebranded to The Uncensored Show like a year and a half later, and then now it's The Melanin Money Show, right? So it doesn't, like, your brand will evolve. It honestly does not matter, right? It's like start where you are, right, with what is organic to you right now, and then if it changes, it changes. One of my favorite quotes is, when the facts change, so do I. So I would say go ahead and get started now.
When the facts change, so do I. And I think that's an important thing that you said, George, because, I get a lot of questions in my Instagram of people like, I don't know how to start, or I can't decide, or I don't want to make the wrong decision, or I don't want to do something and then regret it later. But in reality, this business thing, you can't start perfect. You can't start right. Everything you're doing is just trying things, and then you learn. So just go after it, build. I love your ebook. I love everything that you're writing about. So I think stick with that. And then what needs to change will change.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Great
You're
question.
welcome. Shout out to Kashani.